Well, my string of luck is continuing. After I finally got my car home, my bike home, I had taken the car to go get the bike and bring it back. And somebody ran into my car. So, as you can see, maybe you can see, the black stuff there is their tire. So their tire ran into my car. Of course, they jumped out of their car, and the first thing they said to me was, "I didn't hit your car." People. So I got scraped dent right here, and I got scrapes or tire tread there. Then I got up this morning, and this morning I find out that this tire is totally flat. And you might be able to see this slightly attempt at repair on the side of all places. So probably in my rescue of my e-bike, something out there stabbed the side of my tire, and I had a flat tire. So I spent 6 hours changing the front tire. I kept thinking about putting it on the internet, how difficult it is for me to change a tire. But I decided, yeah, probably nobody would change a tire in the way I did. So I don't think there's anything to learn. Putting the battery in the wire, I now know is a problem. So added to my list of problems with wire is the battery. The front battery took me quite a bit of time to get in. In fact, it took me 2 days because I finally gave up yesterday and put it in this morning. And the rear battery is extremely slippery. There's nothing to grab a hold of. If you're looking at this battery and you have to put the key in there and pull it out, there's nothing to grab on. You're just kind of moving your hands right along here, trying to make it go backwards. So now I know they fixed it in 2025, but when was it even there a problem? You know, people keep saying how greatly this thing's made, and there's problems all over the place. Now they're fixing them, so they're not stupid, but they shouldn't have existed to start with. So one of the things I found out since my last thing where I complained about all the problems is that they have fixed, during that video I probably listed 15 things wrong with the wired cruiser. They fixed probably 10 of them. So yeah, they're at least doing stuff. So if you get a wire cruiser now, or a wire freedom anyway, on the wire freedom they fix those issues. I don't know if on the wire cruiser, if they're going to fix it, they probably will. Why would they not? So they recognized the issues I brought up as actual problems. So all you people out there that keep saying, quit picking on the wire owner also knows that these things were bad and needed to be fixed, and they have been fixed. Well, not all of them. Maybe he'll watch my video and fix the rest of them. One of the things I had complaining about was the front, was how the wheel was moving, that it wasn't moving, has slight wobble in it. Then my tire blew. I think the slight wobble was probably my indication that the tire was not on the wheel correctly. Now when I ride down the street, it doesn't wobble. So I inputted the current tire and tube here when I changed the flat, so apparently I was better at doing that than the actual whoever originally did it, which I guess was at the manufacturing plant. So right now this bike's pretty stripped down. I don't have my bag or anything with me. I'm just going to stay in my neighborhood for a little short ride just to test out. I now have the front and rear tire both at 20 PSI. Before, the front tire was at 28 PSI, which may have contributed to the issue I had. So anyway, let's see how it does now. Turn it back on. 92%, 91%. All right, and we'll put it in 1. And let's see if I can get going. Now the bike's still heavy, so that complaint of mine they can't fix. And there might be a good reason. If you're going to be driving 40 miles an hour, you might need a heavy bike. So I just needed the torque. I don't need the speed. But okay, we're in 1. Let's get going. So the temperature out here is not so bad. I like it. So I'm going to say it's like 80. And it's a little bit overcast, so the sun doesn't burn me. Oh, the car that hit me was one of my neighbors here. But nevertheless, how in the world can you run into somebody and jump out of a car and the first thing you say is, I didn't hit you? I mean, what's that person thinking? I mean, it's like only the two of us. If it wasn't you, who just hit me? And why did you get out of your car? So, I don't know, all sorts of weird people in the world. We didn't file a police report because the damage appeared to be that one dent and tire being on me. So I decided that wasn't good enough to file a police report. And I'm not one of those people that's all big about my car and any little scratch I want to get ticked at. And I don't really care. So, and I didn't see any scratch marks on hers because it looked like it's basically her tire that did most of the hitting of me. Maybe all the hitting of me. So, so anyway, her car, except for maybe her tire, seemed to get off pretty well. So imagine my dismay when I got up this morning to take my car out of the garage so I could continue trying to get the battery in this bike. And I had a completely flat tire. Not just a slightly flat, it was completely, totally flat. So I tried to fill it up and see if it would, if it's just some weird thing or if it was a problem. And it was slowly decreasing the air in it. And I said, well, okay, it's good enough to probably get to a tire shop down the street. So I pumped it up, drove down to the tire shop, and just as I got there, they were working on one car, changing out all the tires. And so I was picking up things inside my car that I didn't want to leave in there. And I had somebody else that pulled in right in front of me and got service first. They didn't care I was sitting there. But, you know, I don't know. Parking lots of these tire places are just crazy. People park all sorts of different directions. So they probably did not know that I was, like, in line. So I don't blame them, I guess. I do slightly blame them, but it's probably unfair to blame them for cutting in front of me. But all they had was the same issue I had. They had a flat tire, just like I had a flat tire. So it didn't take too long for them to get fixed, and it didn't take too long for them to tell me that my flat tire can't be fixed, that it's in the side. I said, well, okay, that makes sense. So get me a new tire. And they said, yeah, we don't have any new tires. I said, but you're a tire place. They go, yeah, we would have to order it, but this is Memorial Day weekend, and, you know, everything's closed. You're going to have to come back on Tuesday. I was like, okay, I'll come back on Tuesday, but how am I going to get around until Tuesday? And they said, we'll try. So that little bit of patch you saw was them trying to do something so that my car tire would not, um, totally go flat again right away. So as you can see, it was actually still had air in it even now. This is a few hours later. So hopefully it'll hold until Tuesday. But the tires I had on there, they probably only have about 300 or 400 miles on them. So they hardly have any miles on those tires. I just bought them. So, yeah. My life's not going quite as well as I wish it would. But this test ride's doing okay so far. Still, I like looking at my tire and seeing that it's not wobbling. I am a bit amazed that I have the ability to put a tire on better than the manufacturer people did. Now, one of the problems that I have, and one of the things that I checked with people to find out, was if my tire has a bad bead in it, and therefore that's the reason it didn't get fixed just because I put another tube in there. The tire, if the tire is bad, it's still bad. So that is part of the reason I'm doing this test, is to see if it's bad. I'm not sure how to tell if it's bad. I did not see any obvious badness. There was nothing that said, oh yeah, look at me, I am going to kill you if you try to go out and I'm going to blow up and you're going to get murdered going 40 miles per hour on a bike. I didn't see anything that said that, so I think that there's nothing that says that, but it could be sneaky. When I ran my fingers along it, didn't feel anything that was weird. I also did the same on the wheel to see if I could feel anything, and I couldn't. I asked Grok about that, and it said that doesn't prove anything. And I go, okay, that's all I know how to do, so, testing like we're doing now is the next thing I can do. Like I said, I have 20 PSI in the front and the back. I'm trying to not overly stressed out my tires now that I know that they have potential problems. And I like 20 anyway. My other bike I've always had on 20. The only reason I had pumped it up to 28 was that some people had said that maybe if it's pumped up higher, that it would be easier to turn. I didn't get to test that out very well. I did do a few figure eights before I turned on my video, and I was going to tell you all about the figure eights I was doing. I was going to show you, but before I could even do one figure eight, we ran into the tire explosion issue, or the tube explosion issue. I guess the tire didn't explode. The tire just peeled off the wheel. So, I don't know. Maybe some people can tell me even better ways to know for sure. I asked Gronk about it, and he said don't take any chances, buy a new tire. So I might just do that anyway. I did not put flat out in the tube yet because I didn't know whether the test is going to work. So I was going to do that later if it survived the test, which so far it has. So that'll be for another day. But anyway, I thought I'd give a little bit of update so y'all could at least see what's happened, that I have recovered from the incident. And I've got two more complaints about the wired bike, and they both relate to the battery. Both batteries are hard to put in, both of them. Oh, it turns out that the rear battery, you actually have to turn the key in order to, and they don't have well, at least in the front, I can't remember at the back. I think maybe the back might have had a way to tell you which was locked and which was unlocked. But the front doesn't have anything to tell you which is locked and which is unlocked. So you just had to turn the key one way and then try to put it in. If it doesn't work, then turn the key the other way and try to put it in. If it doesn't work, turn the key again and try to put it. Hours later, it finally goes in. So I didn't decide to take the battery out and try it again. I decided that this battery is not ever coming out again. That it's staying. I don't want to go through trying to put the battery in again. I just don't want to do that. And the new back battery that actually has a handle so you can pull it out, man, why did they not have that to start with? That makes no sense at all to me. But they do now, so quit thinking about the past and think towards the future. I might order one of the new ones so that I can actually have, because it's really hard. Now, I do have a problem. Some people were saying that the bike is heavy, but you can take off the batteries and the bike is lighter. Well, that obviously is true. It's definitely lighter if you take out the batteries, a whole lot lighter, in fact. With the batteries, I can barely pick it up, but without the batteries, I can actually pick it up. So that's fairly obvious stuff. But now that I know that the batteries are really hard to take out in the case of the rear battery and hard to put in in case of the front battery, yeah, I think I'll just leave the batteries alone. they just need to just be where they're at. Now, sometimes you find out, man, it's really nice to see this tire not wobble. I'm looking at it, it's just rolling normal. It's the way I thought it should have worked. I mean, I never ridden a wired bike before, so I didn't know what the tire is supposed to look like. I never had this tire on my bike before, so I also didn't know what the tire is supposed to look like. So having a tire that doesn't wobble is what I was expecting to see. So it's nice to see that now. So I feel as if the tire is actually owned correctly this time. And it also makes me believe that it was owned incorrectly last time. But everything's a guess. The tire so far seems to be doing pretty good. And amazingly, I haven't noticed what'd you call it? The turning being so hard. I haven't noticed that this ride so far. Now, I did do a lot of figure eights in the parking lot a while ago. You know, after I complained about it so much and people say it kind of needs to be broken in. And I said, well, I'm going to go out to the church parking lot and just do figure eights. So I did figure eights for about an hour, hour and a half on that day. And then when I was coming back this time, I had the experience of doing the figure eights when my tire pressure was 20. So I said, I probably will be able to remember how it was when I was 20 PSI. And now that it's up to 28, I can see what the difference is to see if it's easier. Yeah, I didn't notice any difference. And also, it didn't last long before my tire popped. So, yeah, I didn't get really tested out too well. I did make about 3 figure eights before I turned the video on. So I had a little bit of experience. And that little bit of experience, I didn't really notice a big difference or any difference. Doesn't mean there wasn't a difference. It's just that, I'm not very noticeable. I don't notice things as well as maybe you should be able to notice things. So far, all this seems to be good. I'm going to go down here so I can ride up the hill and get myself in 2. And then go down here. I guess it's probably good enough. Turn around. Whoops, really didn't want to go through that guy's yard. But I did, so bummer. Okay. The twist thing, I still haven't gotten used to. I'm so used to the thumb thing that twisting makes me lose my grip on my right side. I quit holding onto the handlebar in order to twist it. And that's probably, you're not supposed to do that, but that's the way I'm currently twisting it. So that's the reason I lost control turning. It's because I was basically turning with my left hand and my right one was trying to do the twist on the throttle. So that might be something else I'll end up changing eventually, is to put a thumb throttle on here. Russ is right, has a way in which you can do that. So if I can figure it out, which might be too technical for me, but if I can figure it out, maybe I could do that. Add it to my bike here. Of course, my bike I'm kind of not totally hating, but I'm very wary of it. I don't trust this bike much. So let's see how many miles I got on it now. I'm up to 59. So I told it I'd give it up to 100 miles before I make a big judgment, but you know, I have a mostly judgment already, so we got another 40 miles to go before the final judgment. What I think about the bike. Yeah, you know, I'm sticking really close to my house because I don't know if the tire's going to blow up or not. It does seem to be better as far as since it's not wobbling, but I still don't trust it. So yeah, one of the things that's still happening, the squeakiness of the back battery still happening. That didn't go away. We haven't gone too fast yet. We've been going fairly slow. Let's get this, change this look a little bit. I think this will probably be my last pace through here because I think I know kind of get a general feel for it. And I'm going to let the bike sit a little bit, park it. I'm going to take my other bike, the bike where my dog can come with me, out for a ride away from my house. It'll be a further ride. This one here, I wanted to be short, close to home all the time, and to let everybody just know that I'm okay. I survived. Done a lot of sweating, a lot of sweating. But man, temperature is nice today. I wish this was the temperature when my bike broke down. It would have been not so bad. But 92 degrees was the temperature when it broke down. I went and looked up. That's when I got home anyway. When I got home, it was 92. I think when it started, I might have been at 88. And when I started headed out on the bike, and then it went to 90 and then 92. But today, it feels pretty nice. So I don't know what temperature it is. But just guessing, it's not above 85 anyway. It's probably below 85. Okay, I think we'll call this it for this ride. So if you like my stream, if you like the fact that I still made it, and I'm still around, like and subscribe. And I'll see everybody on my next video, which will be a normal video. All right, bye.